Alrighty, a little bit of tutorial, I guess you could say, with the trucks at AutoClub this week number 2 of the 2023 season. So this is going to be a guide for the C fixed. It'll work for obviously the open setup as well, but did this on the fixed, so if times are a little bit slower than what they might normally be or whatever, that's why. But just kind of wanted to show the line and a few different deals, what to do, and talk about how I would race. And but we're going to start off with qualifying, and then we'll go down to show you pit stops, green flag pit stops, and then I'll go and show race pace and kind of what I like to do with it. And then I'll end it off there. A little bit strategies after, more than likely. But yeah, let's just go ahead, jump right into it for the week 2 truck guide at AutoClub Speedway. Alrighty, so qualifying, you see here I go to 12, 5, and 60. I don't use any brake. It's just kind of a habit to do that. So that won't matter much. But I just kind of have it down to where I always do that. So, but for qualifying, I always run kind of a lower ratio. I run 12, 5, and 60 for most tracks. I'm just used to it with the 12-to-1 ratio. But you see here, leaving the pits, trying to get up to speed, momentum, get hard on the gas as fast as you can on the apron, then you'll be at higher top speed entering the corner. But we're going to run the top on the outlap, go up by the wall, and get that big run down the straightaway, get more speed, and time will be better at the end of it. So there's 2 kind of strategies you could play here. This one, I go to the bottom the first lap. What you could do is go to the top, run 1 lap on the top, and then go to the bottom. But this one, I go to the bottom on the first one. I don't know what one's quicker. I ran pretty similar times, but it's just preference. I think first lap can be quicker, but it's going to be a lot looser on the bottom on cold tires on your first lap. So be careful with that. But you see, just getting it right to the bottom, drive it in really deep, only lift to about half throttle for just a few seconds, maybe a second or 2, then straight back on the gas hard, and you'll see the time pop up in the bottom right-hand corner. The one on the left is the fastest lap, and then the one on the right is the last one. So, see, we ran a 9 there. This one, a little bit shallower entry into the corner, but we're a lot more on the gas than the first lap. Down the back stretch, probably losing a little bit more time, but getting into 3, still hard on the gas all the way up until about center, or until I hit the bottom. And you see very, very light lift on these tires. Once they get hot and warm after this first lap, it's a big advantage, and you can drive it in pretty deep. But that's the qualifying guide. Ran an 8.5 on that one. So that was the AutoClub qualifying kind of guide. There's 2 different strategies. You could run the top the first actual lap and then go to the bottom, but it just kind of depends what you want to do. Before we jump into the race guide, we're going to slow her down and go down pit road. So you see on the left side, the grass, right where I brake, get her down second gear, 55 miles an hour at the yellow cone. So be careful. Get her slowed down, 55 miles an hour. Make sure that you get in. A penalty could be big. Obviously, this is under green. So you brake just at the grass on that left side. You guys can see all the telemetry and steering, my line, and all that. But just make sure that you get safely down pit road with no penalties and things like that. That could set you back a lot of time. But getting into the box, put her in neutral, hard on the brake, good stop here. Truck's got really good brakes, so hard on the brakes, got her slowed up. Crew's gonna go to work. Then leaving pit road, make sure that you don't get a black flag. Stay on the apron. But here, first gear, about 6,000 RPMs when we leave, about 20% on the throttle gauge. Then power all the way through, get back going on the apron. Third gear, then you're going to lift here for a little bit through this speedy section. New tires got a lot of grip, but just got to be careful with that. They don't get a penalty coming back up on the track before the blue cone, and that's a green flag pit stop. Now into the race laps. Want to start off first by this kind of deal that I had. Wanted to show this, so looks a little not natural, but on this, always on restarts, you want to go to the bottom of the racetrack. But on cold tires, it's going to be loose on you. So as you see here, we get to the bottom, still in the gas, wide open like you can, and you see it gets loose. Obviously, kind of turn the wheel to the left a little bit more than what you normally would, so it kind of would show it, but it's really easy to get loose on these cold tires. And once you get loose once, it keeps heating up the right rear, and you keep getting looser and looser. Here, I don't even have to really turn the wheel left. You just see it gets loose, and you keep doing that, it's going to get looser and looser. So be careful with that on the first laps on restarts, because you heat up the right rear, it's going to be slow that whole run until you either change tires. And in races like a C fixed, if you don't get a yellow, you're obviously not going to pit. So you heat up the right rear, it's going to be really loose, which maybe it's okay that first turn, and then it helps you later. But still, you're going to lose a lot of momentum that first lap, a lot of track position. So just keep working it. If it does get loose, just back off a little bit on the entry of the corners and just kind of coast the corners, let the right rear cool down. You see here, it just keeps getting looser and looser. And here it finally kind of comes around on me. But yeah, just got to be careful with that when the tires do heat up. So be careful with that on the initial restarts and on cold tires with the restarts. Then here, I wanted to show this with the tire wear. When we reset here, look in the bottom right, you'll see how much that mattered. So we got loose that much, and it heated up the right rear a lot. So that's another point kind of proven. Just be careful with that, with the tire wear being used and it heating up the right rear. There's another point to it. The rears got really hot and really used, so be careful with that. Alrighty, now it's time for the big one, the race pace and how to kind of run the race. So first in the restart, pace is 65. So second gear restart, then all the way through the gears, getting into turn one. On restarts, you're going to want to be on the bottom, even on old tires, everything. The bottoms, if you're third row on restarts, I think you're going to be third coming off of turn two, no matter what. Just be careful keeping it straight on the cold and new tires like I just showed before. But bottom's going to be your best friend on restarts, new tires, everything. You'll see later in the run, I do try it, and we'll check the bottom right-hand corner where it shows the lap times, things like that. But the bottom is just the best in these until like 15 laps in, I'd say. Then try the top, and if it goes a little bit quicker or stays close, then start running it. But bottom's going to help you save tires. It's going to be a little bit slower than the top. I'm pretty sure that was kind of the deal that happened to me at Kansas in the next gens. I just ran bottom, and it helped save more tire than everybody else driving around me on the top. So I'm going to guess that it does the same, which it may not. I think the lap times being slower on the top, it could be the top saves a little bit more and things like that. But you see, pretty easy getting to the bottom, just nice and smooth around the bottom. Lap times are quick, but not like that qualifying lap or anything like that. Tires are going to become a factor. It's going to tighten up the more and more you run, so be careful with that. It's definitely going to get tighter and tighter, and you'll see that more and more during the run. I do run the bottom for I think 2 more laps here, just kind of getting a feel of it, showing what it does on the bottom, show the lap times when you consistently run right here. It will get tighter and tighter the more you run, but you're going to have to be, if you're in traffic, it's going to be even tighter. So think about that as well, because if you're in dirty air or following someone, you're going to have to drive it a little bit different. The leader, I don't think, is ever going to be able to pull away unless it's a full green run on fuel, or like in a C fixed all the way to the end. I don't think the leader is going to be able to pull away. Here you see I go to the top, don't even lift. You just hold her wide open, kind of straddle on that seam is the best way to do it. Our last lap time was on the bottom, and we ran a 9.7. This one, when we cross the line, we'll have to see. But you see here, wide open around the top. I think this is my 3rd lap or 4th lap. But so tire's not worn yet. Just went up here to show and try it. And so on the bottom, we ran a 9.75. This one was a 41.4 pretty much. So you can see tires are not ready. I go straight back to the bottom, and at the completion of this lap, you'll see. But tires are going to be a big factor. Make sure you're trying to save that right front here, getting to the bottom. You saw it get loose, and I had to kind of wheel it out to the wall. So just be careful. If you do try it, you're going to have to do multiple lanes. If you're trying to pass someone, try to get a run on them. Just arc it a little bit more than they do on in the corner. And just get a good run down the straightaway and try to pass them. You're not going to be able to clear anybody just by driving by them or anything like that. It's going to be draft. I don't think that someone's going to be able to pull away. The trucks are pretty draft heavy, but this one, 41-1. So 2/10 quicker just from running the bottom. But you see here, starting to lift a little bit more than what I did before. And driving, big thing here is letting it float out to the wall kind of by itself. Don't try to hold it down or force it down or keep it down. Just let it do what it wants coming on the exit. Try to keep the momentum and RPMs up, especially with trucks. It'll bog down. So be careful with that and be thinking about that. Here, I think I do a little touch on the wall. No, maybe the next one. But if your RPMs you hear start to kind of bog down past halfway through the corner, then straighten out the wheel a little bit, let it float out to the wall. Give it that RPM, give it that speed. Here I go back up to the top to try it, and it just doesn't come in. So make sure you're saving the tires. A few things to think of. Just make sure you're saving the tires. Race it smart. If you're going to go for a pass, make sure you're going to get that pass done in that corner, that you are quicker. Be side by side with them getting into the corner. That's the best way to make the pass here. Bottom's going to be your best friend for, I'd say, 15 laps. Just consistently running it. The top will come in later, but it won't be there for a while. Here we see I'm at the top again. Excuse me. But 6.8 there, so obviously the top not working. I try to run about a little bit lower and lift, see if that would help. It doesn't much, but it just, top wasn't very good in the trucks. It just doesn't come in, but later in the race it might, especially in dirty air. Maybe 10 laps in and you're trying to pass someone, maybe the top does come in. I'm not sure. I haven't ran a race in it yet. Just previous races and watching these. That's what I've kind of found. So I'll let you guys finish watching this race run, and I will talk to you guys here at the end. So that is going to do it for the AutoClub race run there at the end. Did believe it was 10 laps, maybe 15, not for sure, but right front started to wear a lot there at the end. Lifting, you could see it. So just be careful with the tire wear. Race it smart. The draft and the trucks are always competitive and easy to drive. So no matter what, no one is going to be able to pull away. So race it smart. Don't get yourself in a bad spot. Use the draft to your advantage and don't be aggressive and trying to do dive bombs and clear someone right in the center and slide jobs, things like that. Just race it smart. Make sure that you get up a good run and then clear him before the corner or just as you enter it, and be clear at halfway through the corner. And just kind of work with people. I mean, pushing someone down the straightaway, they might remember it, and if you are quicker, go by them in 3 laps. But push them for a few laps. If you and say you're running third and you're working with the guy in second to get around the leader, if he goes for a slide job and he clears them, then you get around the leader and you keep pushing the guy and working with him. He's going to race you cleaner, more than likely, kind of at the end of the race, and you guys have a good working together. So just race it smart, kind of make friends with it, work your way through the field with a friend or whoever, make a friend during it, and push them would be a smart way to do it. Just race yourself smart. Don't make everybody mad or nothing like that. Start making moves about 5 to go. But biggest thing I could learn from this practice and give you tips with is just race it smart. Save that right front tire. Be smart. Don't go to the top too early. As much as I love the top, say 15 laps in, then maybe try it and see if it's working. But I'm not for sure. Draft and 3 wide racing and everybody being side by side, I don't know how big of a factor this is going to be. So, or how much this is going to help. But it was fun one to make, fun one to run, laps and stuff. So I'll be doing a test in the next gens, and then each week I think I'm going to try to do one of these, probably shorten it up, but try to do one with Cup, Xfinity, and Truck, do all 3 and do all that. So if you guys enjoyed this one, please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one.